Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Casper the Boy Diviner, and today I wanted to show you the second and third edition of the Terra Volatile. It's a tarot deck by this, I don't know how to pronounce their name, but Credo Quia et Surdum. But if you Google Terra Volatile, you will definitely find their store. So I wanted to show you, this is the second edition that I got, and there was a bit of a misprinting with it, and then this is the third edition that just released. So they were really kind enough to send me a new version because my previous one had some misprinting. And let me show you the misprinting. So again, the second edition comes in a little tuck box. People don't like tuck boxes, but I do. At the same time, it didn't really survive the trip all the way to Asia, so you know, that's that, but at least it's simple to carry. You can't really see a lot of how bad the misprinting is because it varies on the cards, but you can see some white specks here. So it really depends. So I split it up into two pieces because I already chose the cards that I wanted to use. Some of this actually contains cards that are not used. They are extra cards or alternative cards. So the Terra Volatile does have a whole new suit, the suit of vessels, I think. So let me show you that this is the third edition. And the third edition has a sturdy box, very sturdy, very good. And it has a harder cardstock. So if I were to talk about the cardstock of the second edition, if you're getting it, is that it's extremely bendy. It is extremely bendy and it retains a bow. So I don't think it's about the thickness of the cardstock. It's more that this cardstock doesn't have a strong core. That's how I feel about it. It's much easy. It's really easy to shuffle though. But you can see this one is a super chunky deck because they did up the thickness of the card. I'm not a fan of thick cardstock. So at the moment I do kind of prefer this cardstock over this one. But there is some coloring differences as well. This one is a linen finish, whereas this one is a plain smooth finish. Okay, and I'll just show you guys side by side. So to be honest, if you want to take a look at how much thicker the new cardstock is, you can see this is the old one, which is pretty chunky but not crazy, whereas this one, if you want to use all the cards, you know, it's really a lot more. So I'm going to place the extra cards aside. We will talk about the extra cards as we go through the newer deck, just because that's where you can really see. So the first card that I want to go through is the Fool. So you can see that there is the Fool and the Foolless. So you get to choose between these two, a male Fool and a female Fool. So I got a bit confused because I thought Foolless is like, you know, you don't have any full energy in you, like Foolless, you know. But it's more like a female version of the Fool. So that's when I finally understood what this card is. And to be honest, I kind of prefer this one just because there is that white dog at her ankles. So that's why I chose the Foolless in the end. So to show you, they are the same size, but you can see a coloring difference. The original, the second edition of the Terra Volatile has a darker tone. This one they upped the exposure, and I think they made it less yellow. Which one do I prefer? I don't know yet. I have to go through the whole deck before I can make a decision, but let's see. Okay, then we move on to the Magician. This is the Magician. Again, you can see that this one is lighter. For the Magician, you can pick between the Magician and the Alchemist. So you get a choice between these two. You can see the number one. And I like both. But because if you ask me to choose, I'll definitely, usually, if I like both, I will choose the more traditional one. So I picked the Magician in this case. The High Priestess. The Empress. If I see any changes, I'll point them out to you. The Emperor. The Pope. I like the Pope here. I like the white eye that they have. And then the supplicants at their knees. Very nice. You can see the eyes on their hands instead of his eyes. The Lovers. This is very Marseille Lovers, where there's the Cupid and the one male deciding to choose between two females. The Chariot. You can sort of see the details clearer in the lighter version because the exposure has been increased. But there's some like antique charm to the darker one, I would say. Justice. So justice and not strength first. You definitely can see more details in the lighter one, so maybe I'll opt for that. Or maybe I'll use both. I haven't decided. The Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, the blue baby face, Fortitude. So instead of Strength, you can choose Fortitude or Strength. So let me show you Strength. You can choose either Strength or Fortitude. I went with Fortitude in my version here. So that was my choice. I just felt like Fortitude went better with Prudence and the other virtues that they showed here. So here you see the Hangman. I didn't opt for the Hangman. I chose Prudence instead. So also number 12, Prudence. I don't know. It's just because the Hangman doesn't feel like it went well with the rest of the majors. So I went with Prudence. And then for Death, there are 3 cards you can choose from. Clearly, I chose the Misery Collector, which is the most interesting, the one that gave me chills when I first saw it. So let me show you Death, which is very traditionally Marseille, and then Rebirth, which is very alchemical, and then the Misery Collector. So you have these 3 to choose from, and out of these 3, this was the most striking. And it's because there's so many alternative cards, I might actually play around with it. Because this deck is thinner, I might actually use the Suit of the Vessels, which I'm not using right now. And for this one, I will use a smaller version and maybe pick a few different alternates. Okay, Temperance. Okay, so for the Devil, you can choose between the Devil and the Temptation. Again, these two kind of are similar to me. I kind of just prefer the Temptation just because I like the imagery of the ram's head. So that's what I went for. The Tower. The Star. It's like in the images like the Tower and the Star, I kind of like the darker, murkier look. The Moon. So like the Moon also, I prefer the darker look. The Sun. Judgment. I like this card. This card is a very good Judgment. I like it a lot. The Universe. So if you want to know more about the cards, they have a very extensive encyclopedia kind of knowledge here on the net. Here, the Cups. I really like the Aces. The Aces look really nice. 2 of Cups. Sorry if you hear any screaming. The children downstairs are going mad. 3 of Cups. The 4 of Cups. I really like the imagery because it's very RWS but very recognizable and very new and fresh. I like the vibrant colors just opposed to the very traditional art. The 5 of Cups. The 6 of Cups. The 7 of Cups. Very traditional RWS, which I like a lot. 8 of Cups, one of my favorite cards in the deck. And 9 of Cups gives me weird vibes. I feel like this is supposed to be a representation of the smiling Buddha, but this makes me feel like I don't feel like it's a great representation. I wish they use a more traditional representation instead of trying to amalgamate different like European paintings together. That's how I feel when I see that image. The 10 of Cups, very nice. Page of Cups. Some of the cards later make me feel a bit uncomfortable, and I'll talk about why. But I still feel like it's a this deck has a well-meaning, you know. Queen of Cups. And then the King of Cups. I really like the King of Cups. The whole cup suit is beautiful. It's very blue toned, which I enjoy. Okay, and then let's go to the Ace of Coins. Very nice. Very nice. I like the Ace of Coins a lot. 2 of Coins with the snake, the juggling. Very interesting imagery because you know, every time I look at the 2 of Coins, I try to find the lemniscate. I can't find it here. The 3 of Coins. You know, hard work, teamwork. The 4 of Coins. The 5 of Coins, again, very traditional, very beautiful, very well done. The 6 of Coins, you know, exchange, giving, charity. I like this, okay? So this is the 7 of coins that I chose. I've talked about this card in my previous video, the aggressive decks. I really like this card because sometimes the 7 of coins, you're waiting and waiting and you're giving and giving. Is the fruit of your labor worth it? It's not clear. Do you really want to give so much? So this is the more traditional version, but this is a twist to that meaning that still makes sense. I really like how this looks. So I picked this card over the traditional one. The 8 of coins. The 9 of coins. I love the 9 of coins. I love that they kept the bird. Very important to me when I see the 9 of coins. This makes me think of Klimt, I think. And then the 10 of coins, which I also appreciate, where there's a family, there is the older man. Yeah. Page of coins. The Knight of coins. Very nice. Queen of coins. I feel like there's some sharpening going on as well on the new edition. I'm not sure, but it looks sharper. And whether it's to its detriment, I don't know. It really depends on what kind of aesthetic you are looking for. The King of Coins. I love the antlers. Very King of Coins. Okay. Then let's move on to the swords. Ace of Swords. Again, very beautiful aces. I like that they kept the hands, you know, for the ace and the wands. Two of coins. Sorry, the 2 of swords. I don't see the moon behind them. Okay, and then the 3 of hearts. We have the traditional one, and then this one. And because I always enjoy like the traditional imagery, but it kind of feels overplayed by now every time I use a deck. So I kind of prefer this one. So I opted to use this version. The 4 of swords. Again, very traditional. 5 of swords. Very traditional, very well done. 6 of swords. Again, very RWS. 7 of swords. You know, without its alternate cards and its new suit, all that, I would actually like to recommend this as a beginner RWS deck. But because of all the extras that you need to make choices, you know, you need to make decisions when you use this deck. I feel hesitant to recommend it to a beginner, you know. The 9 of swords. A great depiction again. And then the 10 of swords. In this 10 of swords, they added the blood at this corner here. Whereas in the RWS, there's no, it doesn't seem like there's any blood going on. Page of Swords, very David and Goliath. So I don't know if it's really based on that. I have, the website is beautiful, it's great to read, I just haven't done it. The Knight of Swords. The Queen of Swords. Is this Medusa? Very interesting. And then the King of Swords, who doesn't look very imposing. But I think he has lost the pupil in one eye, so I don't know what that means. Could it be a representation of Odin? But I don't see any crows. Are these crows? No, they're not crows. The top, that's not a crow. Okay, and then the wands. With those strong forearms, those are really strong forearms. The 2 of wands, which is very traditional, very good. Again, 3 of wands, very traditional, very good. 4 of wands. This is when I feel a bit uncomfortable because the wand suit has a bit of like a different culture, and I'm not sure where the creators are from, and I don't know if they kept true to the culture that they're depicting here. So there are 2 versions. For this one, I just aesthetically prefer this one over this one. This one makes it feel somehow, this figure just feels off to me, whereas this one feels like a real conflict. Okay, so yeah, I chose this. And then the 6 of wands, which is meant to be like victory. This is the one that makes me feel a bit uncomfortable because this one makes me feel like they are going into war instead of coming back from a war. Yeah, but of course I can see it as victory. But you can see the bones here, so there's something sinister to it, you know. Yeah. The 7 of wands. Beautiful, still defending. 8 of wands, I like this. I like these 2 alternates. So it really depends on how you see things, right? Do you want to see the message coming down from the divine, or do you want to see the message sprouting from the divine in your head naturally, you know? And of course I picked this imagery. I like this one much better. Okay, and then this one just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I talked about this also in my aggressive deck, or what they call it, direct decks, confrontational decks, last week. So yeah, this one just makes me feel uncomfortable, I guess, in a good way. The Ten of Wands, traditional, very nice. Okay, the Page of Wands, I think there are two. So again, between these two, I picked this one just because this feels a bit less, you know, I don't know how accurate this is, you know, or how whether it does the culture does justice. So I picked this one. This one seems less. This feels more innocuous. The Knight of Wands. I love the creature that he's riding on. There's something more sinister here, right? Because it's darker. This one is lighter. This one has is crisper. The Queen of Wands. So again, I don't know if how accurate this is, but I really like the imagery of the sunflowers and the cheetah. Very thoth. And then the King of Wands. Again, I don't know whether this is considered culturally appropriative. But I like to believe that these creators, the creator of this deck, did their research. So, yeah. I'm placing this one aside because now we're going to go through the extra suit, which are the suit of vessels. For me, I always see the tarot as complete. So I always don't know how to appreciate a new suit. I don't know how to use a new suit. So with that, bearing that in mind, let's go through this suit. I feel like this suit is very sinister compared to the rest of the tarot here. The Ace of Vessels. The Two of Vessels. This is very temperance. Maybe temperance in a smaller way. The Three of Vessels. Again, this very Three of Pentacles, like working together, climbing up, building that foundation. The Four of Vessels is very very judgment-like, you know, very judgment in a darker way. The Five of Vessels. Here, I just see violence. I really don't know how else to interpret this, and I don't know if there's something similar, you know, because I feel like tarot always has nuances. I don't know what the nuance is here. Maybe I need to read about the suit, which I have not done. The Six of Vessels, I like this one. This is a transformation. This is very, very, how would I put it? Very temperance, very judgment and temperance placed together. The Seven of Vessels. This is very Five of Wands, I would say. Eight of Vessels. I don't know how to read this because the birds are captured. There's clearly a war going on. So I don't know. There's no freedom here. So is it a Ten of Wands kind of oppression? The Nine of Vessels. This is a creature that is being put together. So is there a sense that you know, we need to assimilate the qualities around us? The Ten of Vessels. This seems more cheerful, but I don't know what it means. Maybe there's a peacock behind. So is there some sort of pride, some sort of self-worth going on here? The Page of Vessels. The Knight of Vessels. The Queen of Vessels. And the King of Vessels. Okay. I want to take the vessels out. While I was doing this, I forgot to take out the cards that I don't want to use. So maybe I'll quickly go through them now. So I'm basically picking the same ones just because I'm used to the original, the ones that I've been working with for a long time. Okay, so I've taken out all the alternative cards and the extra cards and the extra suit. And the deck looks a lot more manageable now to shuffle. So it's only this size. So if we compare to the linen one, it's a bit thicker still, but much more manageable. So let's give it a quick shuffle and let's see if it riffle shuffles well. Okay, shuffles well. Maybe not as great as the feel of linen, which I always appreciate. But this one feels more sturdy. The linen one does feel like it might snap at any time or fold at any time. This one feels good. This one feels solid. Let's try to give it a riffle shuffle. So please keep in mind this is not the full deck. So yeah, it's riffle shuffleable, if that's ever a word. Yeah. And then let's do a test reading with the Terra Volatile. It's a beautiful deck. I really like this deck actually. It feels like a deck that I could use for clients easily because it's so it's so recognizable. But I probably would try to pick the more traditional imagery for clients, I guess. You know, instead of using Misery Collector, I'll use Death, probably. Okay, let's do a quick test reading. Can we have a reading for everyone here? Okay, this one, and then this one. Okay. focus on lightening your burdens before focus on lightening your burdens and balancing what you have before looking outwards. So basically, your life is, you know, not steady right now. There's a lot to focus on. There's burden. So before you look out and decide your next steps, really try to focus on handling what you have and balancing your, your work-life balance, balancing the workload that you have before you look out. Okay, I hope this reading resonated with all of you. I hope this reading helped. If you guys enjoyed this review, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And you guys have a great rest of the day. You take care. Bye.